Hey guys, what's up? Trey back here at Trey Wolf, and welcome back to an episode of Trey's Takes. Today's episode is about the Premier League predictions for 2019-2020 season. Now, we've got a great season ahead of us. We've got so many transfers. Some people have left the league. A lot of people have came into the league. Makes it a lot really more interesting for everyone. We've got Frank Lampard taking over Chelsea, seeing if he can rise to the occasion. Is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going to make it to the end of the season? Will Man U and Arsenal get back into the Champions League? Let's see what I've predicted. So basically on these slides I'm going to show you the ranking of how I think the 20 teams in the Premier League will finish, who will get relegated, who will win the league, and basically I also show the transfers that they've done for this window, how much they've spent, where they finished last season, and the bottom left you will go ahead and see a snippet of their top transfer target as well as how that transfer target did last season. So you know what, guys? Let's get started. Coming in at number 20, we got Sheffield United. Sheffield United placed second in the Championship League last season, and they are coming into the Premier League, and I think they are going to wash out. I don't think that they have done enough business. I don't think on paper they look that great. Their top transfer, Ollie McBurney from Swansea City, I guess their top goal scorer, 25 goals. You know what? I don't think that's the quality they need. Phil Jagielka, obviously at the latter end of his career. Ravel Morrison, wash up. But yeah, I don't think, for 42.7 mil, I don't think that they have done a very good job this transfer window. And you know what? I'm going to give them a grade of a B because they've brought in lots of players there and to spruce up the squad, but it is nowhere near enough to even keep them out of relegation. And I won't give them a C just because they definitely did bring in people and stuff, but I still think they should have done better. Coming in at number 19, we got Norwich City, champions of the Championship Division last year. They have only spent 2.4 mil this season, and I think that's very poor for a side that's newly promoted and is trying to fight to stay in the league. Sam Byram's their top transfer, and you know what? He's a decent defender from West Ham. Hasn't gotten much of a chance to stay there. Dermich. Another name, Ralph Farman's a nice target for them, but I think Tim Krul is a starting goalkeeper now. So yeah, 2.4 mil, I don't think it's enough. I don't think they have the quality on paper. They got thrashed by Liverpool. This video was actually supposed to go out before the Liverpool game, but unfortunately, it was due to some audio difficulties. I'm remaking this video, and yeah, Norwich got thrashed, so that happened. So I give them a C for the transfer window. Haven't spent enough money, haven't brought enough quality people. Norwich, it was nice seeing you. Thanks for the wins. Coming in number 18, the last relegation spot, Brighton. Brighton finished 17th in the Premier League last season, and they were right at the edge. They were just barely about to go down. I'm pretty sure they only did it by very few points. I'm pretty sure it was within one game. But you know what? They're going down this season. I'm sorry. They've brought some good transfers, honestly. I think Mapai, Trossard, Matt Clark, Aaron Moy at the last minute. And I think those are cool and all, but honestly, it's on paper, that's not enough to keep you up. I mean, already what you can do, have Glenn Murray score all your goals and everything? I don't think so. Yeah, and your top transfer target is a Bristol City defender. Well, guys, best of luck to you, but you know what? 59.18 mil, it's not enough. I'm going to give you a B for this one. You splashed some cash, but you didn't splash enough, and for that, welcome to the championship. I mean, number 17, Southampton. Now, Southampton, you remember the days, guys, when Southampton was pushing for 6th place, 7th place. They were up there when Sadio Mane, they had Virgil van Dijk. They had a decent bunch of transfers made over the years. And I would just like to know, where the heck is all the money from all their transfers since like 2015, 2016 with Van Dijk, Sadio Mane, Morgan Schneiderlin, Victor Wanyama? Where did all that money go? All the people you have on your team then that you've brought in. I mean, you bought Danny Ings this season for 20 mil. He's got 8 goals as a sub last season. Okay, that's whatever. But Southampton, you're teetering on the edge, guys. I mean, you are asking to get relegated. You are not spending the cash. You got, literally, I did some research. In those 2 transfer windows when they sold Sadio Mane, all those players I named, and the Van Dijk one, those 2 windows, over 170 mil went into the club. And I'm just like, where did it go? What did you come up with? So I'm going to give you a C because out of Danny Ings, Shea Adams, and Moussa De Genepo, whatever, I mean, come on, guys. Come on. You got to fight for your place. Fight for your place here. Aston Villa, number 16. Now, they got in, and it's controversial. I put them this high because they just got in by the playoff promotions. But you know what? They have splashed the cash. Over 100 mil, 133 mil to be exact, basically, to bring in all these players. Now, some people might say, wow, that's a lot of money. That might be too much money to spend on a team that's just gotten into the Premier League. But you know what? This team has been in the Premier League for years on years, and they are wanting to stay here, and it is evident by this club's spending and everything. You should look at these names here on the right that they brought in. Big names, kind of like Nakamba, Trezeguet, Tom Heaton, Tyrone Mings. Now, I say big names for them because they're adding to the squad. They're adding the depth. They're adding to the positions they need and everything. It's not going to be enough to keep on paper to even threaten for a Europa League position, but you know what? I think it's enough to get them over the line to beat out all the teams below them enough. So for that, I'm giving them an A. I'm giving an A, and I think Aston Villa can show and surprise us this window. 15, Burnley. Burnley. Yeah, wasn't a few seasons ago they finished like 7th or 6th, and they got like a Europa League playoff spot. Didn't last too long apparently, but $540,000, pounds, whatever. And you bought Jay Rodriguez as your top transfer. You lost Peter Crouch, poor Petey, bye. You lost Stephen Ward and Lindegaard, and you know what? Those aren't names even worth talking about because also you didn't bring in names worth talking about into your squad. Danny Drinkwater, I'm sorry, you didn't work out at Chelsea too much. You're probably going to be bought after the end of your loan. Hopefully you do well, but you know what? For $540,000, you get a C because Burnley on paper are not enough to do it in this league. They're not threatening, and they're just going to be middle of the run. I like the coach. Don't have faith in the team anymore. Now, coming at 14, Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace's best bit of business, they didn't lose Zaha. And you know what? He's probably going in the transfer window in the winter because he handed in a transfer request like in the last week. Luckily, they kept him. But you know what? Their biggest transfer to bring in was a guy who was injured all last season, and James McCarthy for 8 mil. You made 43.34 mil because of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Great. You know what? Aaron Wan-Bissaka got sold earlier in the summer. You had 50 mil to spend on a bunch of players. You spent 10.5 mil on 2 players, Jordan Ayew and James McCarthy. That is shameful. Gary Hill on a free transfer. Hopefully Gary does some good. Crystal Palace, as soon as they lose Zaha, they're going to teeter on the edge of relegation. So I say middle of the run, 14th place, Crystal Palace, going to finish worse than they did in 12th place last season. You get a C. Coming in at number 13, Newcastle United. Now, Newcastle is an interesting one because I like what they've done with the transfer window. Joel Linton, St. Maxim, Andy Carroll for depth, Jetro Williams from Frankfurt, the Dutch left back. You lost Oyosi Perez, you lost Hosselu, you lost 2 of your strikers, but you know what? You brought in 2 strikers. And one of them, arguably, and did break the transfer window, is a young talent. It could be pretty good for them. And you know what? I'm hoping for big things because Newcastle is building a team on paper that looks threatening for a Europa League position. But you know what? Their manager that they just brought in, they lost their last manager to the Chinese league, I believe, and it's a tragedy for them. And I believe they're going to get a financial takeover soon from Man City's cousin or brother. I'm not positive which one it is. But you know what? For this window, I give you a B. I give you a B because you splashed a little bit of cash, 29.48 mil, and that's because you made a good profit off Oyosi Perez. But I think that you needed to bring in maybe a stud goalkeeper. I say stud, just someone for them. Depth behind Yedlin because the guy can't stay healthy, it feels like. And maybe just a nice center mid or defender, and I would give you an A. But I don't see them going too far in this. They finished 13th place last season after coming back up, and they're going to finish 13th this season, guys. I'm telling you that. 12, Bournemouth, finished 14th last season. Going to finish 12, a little better. Ryan Fraser had a great season, and I'm hoping he's going to build off of it. They brought in Harry Wilson off of Liverpool, Lloyd Kelly from Bristol City, and Philip Billing, a midfielder who I could not find many stats from Huddersfield last season, but I'm pretty sure that he played a lot more than that 3 games. Lost Tyrone Mings, not exactly sure who that is, and lost Harry Otter on a loan. And honestly, I think Bournemouth is slightly threatening for some reason. They're a team I don't like to play against, but for this window, I give them a C. just because I think they've done a little bit of business, not enough to really phase them around. I think that they'll. I think Joshua King, if he stays healthy, Ryan Fraser, all of them stay healthy, I think they could have a decent season. And I think it's really going to be beating out all the lower teams that puts them up there. But I don't think they will do that well against all the top flight teams. Coming in at number 11, Watford. Watford, I believe, got runner-up in the FA Cup last season against Man City. I think got smacked like 6 or 7-1 or 7-0. I think it was something like that. But you know what? They brought in an interesting signing in Ismaili Sarr from Stadio Rennes, I believe, for 31 mil. Not too bad. Danny Welbeck on a free transfer. That's not terrible. They really didn't lose anybody super important or anything. So spent about 14 mil. I'm going to give him a C just because Danny Welbeck really has been proving himself. Sarr is a good transfer, but that's your only one. And I think when it comes to Watford, they're a team that really could use some bigger name players in a lot of their positions and everything. And Sarr, maybe he'll do great, but he's not going to carry the team much past 11th place where they got last season. So Watford, better luck in the winter window. Okay, number 10, West Ham United, my underdog boys, did some good business this window. Maybe not enough business, but Sebastian Haller broke the transfer record for him. Got some nice stats right there from Frankfurt. Pablo Fornals looked pretty decent in preseason. Lanzini is coming back. He's healthy, hopefully. Hopefully Wilshere stays healthy. Roberto, backup goalkeeper. You don't want to see him play, though. Trust me. They lost Arnautovic. Big loss from them. Kind of a fallout there. Lost Sam Byram to Norwich. Lucas Perez, Pedro, Reece Oxford, Adrian Samir Nasri. If you're a West Ham fan, you know a lot of these names are actually kind of big names for them. A lot of prospects, a lot of people kind of who've been there a year or two. But for 30.66 mil spent, I'm going to give them a B because they brought in 2 strikers. They brought in a midfielder and some defenders. And you know what? I think they're going to finish middle of the run. And I'm really hoping that they're going to have better form in the beginning of the season than last season. Because they were teetering on relegation, I think, for a lot of time, if I remember correctly. Or there was a season before that. I'm not too sure. But, yeah, I think for the business they've done, I think Sebastian Haller is going to have a good season in terms of goal scoring. Hopefully Felipe Anderson has a really good one. And we'll see how it turns out. This is where it starts getting into a really more competitive for all the teams. I think starting with these 9 through 7th place teams, I think they are going to go neck and neck in the points at the end of the season. Now, Leicester finished 9th last season, spent 17.19 mil, but they've done some pretty good business on their parts. Yuri Tielemans from Monaco, he had a really impactful season for them in the spring half of the season. And they lost. They brought in Jose Perez from Newcastle, so another striker. Dennis Pratt, last deadline day signing from Sampdoria. He's decent. And I think that they've done a good job of structuring their midfield. But the thing is, they lost Harry Maguire for 80 mil, and for that, I'm going to give them a B minus. Now, B minus a little controversial. Because I think I was closer to a C than an A for them, and this is the only one with really a minus, just because I wasn't sure if I want to give them a C or a B. And it's mainly because they lost Harry Maguire and they haven't replaced anybody in their defense for him. And honestly, I think that they were planning to lose Harry Maguire for most of this the transfer window. And I don't know if they had anybody planned to say, hey, pull the trigger. As soon as Harry Maguire's fee comes in, let's go buy this guy. And you know what? For 80 mil, you could have bought 3 decent players for that, probably, to fill their squads. I would have bought another center back in. They looked at Nathan Ake, but I'm pretty sure Bournemouth said, no, we want 75 mil for him, which is kind of crazy. Chelsea might buy him back for 40 mil, but I'm going to give him a B minus because Leicester, I think, could look decent, but they're nothing like the champions of old. So, middle of the run for the table. Number 8. Wolves. Now, Wolves is a team that I like. I just think that they're fun to watch. They're threatening, and it's just interesting to see what they've built and everything. 7th place last season. They're in Europa League playoffs right now. They've won all their games so far, I believe. But I think having the European competitions is going to set them back compared to where they were last season. I think they'll get knocked out of Europa probably in the round of 16 or so. Then they'll start getting their form back and everything, and then they'll get back to about 8th place in the table. 84.24 mil is actually a pretty good amount spent for them. They didn't lose any huge names, I don't believe, but they finalized Dendoncker. I'm pretty sure he was already there. They brought in Patrick Gatrone, a nice young prospect from AC Milan, and they brought in Jesus Vallejo, young Real Madrid center back. So they structured the squad, and I'm going to give them a B because I think they've done a decent job adding in the depth, getting ready for Europa League, but they didn't sign any huge names to really say, hey, we are ready to really fight to win Europa. I think that they could have improved a little bit on that front. But I think they're the ones who could shock anybody in this league more than anybody. Now going to 7, Everton. Everton possibly has had the best window in my opinion, or one of the best. Probably top 5 best, top 3 best. But honestly, they're just impressive how much money they spent. And then you only see 47.61 mil spent, but the names that they brought in are speak for themselves. They sold Idrissa Gueye and Adamello Lookman for about 52 mil together, and those are going to be kind of hard hits for them. But they brought Moise Kean from Juventus, who I didn't think that they would sell. Jean-Philippe Gibamine from FC Mainz is a good replacement for Idrissa Gueye. Andre Gomes finalized it from Barca. Fabian Delph just wasn't good for Man City anymore. Losil, old Huddersfield Town striker, I believe. Sidibe from Monaco, a little older, but some good backup to Seamus Coleman. And Alex Iwobi from Arsenal, who I believe created the most chances in the league last year. So I'm actually very surprised Arsenal let him go, but for 35 mil, I'm not surprised because I don't know if they had full faith in Iwobi. And for just bringing in Pepe, I guess it made good business. And Everton, I'm honestly surprised that they bought him for 35 mil. I give him a B. If anything, I should have given him a B plus because it's closer to an A. But I think if they brought in a huge center back or something, I would have given him an A. I think that's just something that they could have done for. Now coming in at number 6, Manchester United. I think Ole Gunnar is going to get sacked by January. I think he's going to get sacked. I don't know why. I just have this feeling that he's going to sack. It's not going to work out. I think Pogba is not gonna have a good first half of the season. I think he's either gonna move for a transfer in the winter window or in the summer for sure. But I don't think he's gonna be here more than one last season at Man U. Brought in Harry Maguire and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Those are great transfer names for them. 130 mil worth. So they spent 84 in total. When they lost Lukaku, they lost Ander Herrera, and then Valencia and James Wilson, but I think I'm going to give them a B because they had a decent window, but you structured your defense, which you needed to, but you lost a big-name striker. I guess maybe you have depth with Martial if Sanchez wants to play up there, and then, of course, Rashford, but your midfield is just weak now. I mean, you've lost Herrera. Matt is getting older. Pogba, I mean, obviously is Pogba, but he doesn't always play like he wants to be. And then you lost Fellaini too. I mean, where are you? You're not replacing your midfield as much, and I think that's what's really going to hurt them. And Fred, unless Fred wants to turn up this season, but last season he was a flop. But I think Man U's going to end up at 6th again. 5th, Arsenal. Not much changing here. I think Arsenal is the only team that could swap out with 4th place. They spent 91.89 mil. They basically doubled what they said they were allowed to spend for this summer window, and I don't know how they made it happen. I think it's because Nicola Pepe is actually more of a 17 mil transfer over 5 years rather than 72 mil, and William Saliba is actually loaned back out. I think that's really how they made it happen. They lost a few names. They lost Aaron Ramsey, Juventus, Danny Welbeck. They lost Lichtsteiner, Czech. Well, obviously, Willie Saliba is going back out, so it's like now he's really not even a part of the squad for this year. And then Koscielny. Koscielny was a weird fallout, but they brought in Pepe. Nicola Pepe turned up last season, and you can see on the stats on the left. And 72 mil, we'll see if he works up to that price tag. Kieran Tierney, I didn't expect that to go through. I really didn't, but it went through. David Luiz, we're not even going to talk about that. I will save that for a Chelsea video or something, but I don't want to talk about that right now. And Dani Ceballos from Real Madrid honestly thought he was going to get called back after Asensio got hurt. Poor Asensio. But Arsenal, I give you an A. I give you an A because you splashed out. You literally basically doubled your transfer window budget somehow. You're making it work. And then there's my boys, Chelsea. Now, for this one, the net money spent was he actually got 75 million. That's because for the transfer of Eden Hazard, we finished third place last season and got back in Champions League, which is great. I think we'll maintain Champions League, but I think we will be neck and neck for fifth place. I think we'll have a little bit of a gap between third and fourth, but fifth place we will be fighting to stay into fourth place. Frank, I will not go into too much about everything Chelsea related. Obviously, I'm a huge Chelsea diehard fan. But I'll save that for a Chelsea video. But honestly, I'm focusing on the loan army that we brought back in, and then the subtle signings we made. Christian Pulisic, Kovacic, huge players for us that are going to be pivotal in our first team squad. Now, Reece James, Mason Mount, Tammy Abraham, Michi Batshuayi, Kurt Zuma, Fikio Tomori, and the last guy, because, yeah, he's leaving eventually. These guys, young potential. Michi's not as young anymore, but these guys have potential. They're unproven in the Premier League, but I'm telling you, just watch out for them. They have the potential. They could flop. We all could be wrong. We could get 7th place or something, and everyone could flop, and then we have to splash out cash next window and redo the whole thing. But you know what? We're investing in our youth and everything, and this is the year that could happen. And we got rid of Morata. We got David Luiz. And Cahill left on free. And Ethan Ampadu is getting some experience right now. You go, Ampadu. And you know there's one name missing because I didn't want to add it on there just because it kind of hurt to type it. I am still kind of sore about it. Obviously, I want Hazard to have great things happen to him and everything. I'm super happy, but it was just bad timing. And also, I just bought a jersey in London at Chelsea Stadium with his name on the back that I paid over $100 for, and he's gone. So, yeah, I give him a B. I give him a B because they brought in a lot of names for the loan army, and they've done good business setting up for next window. Number 3, Tottenham. Tottenham. I got a lot of friends, hopefully they're watching this, who are Tottenham fans. And I honestly was thinking of giving y'all potentially second or first place. But the fact that you didn't get Dybala in the end makes me want to go back for third place. And I think, honestly, if I'm being neutral, that they're on their way there. I think they're going to get better from fourth place last season. I think they're going to be close to third to second place rather and have a gap between third and fourth. In Ndombele, you can see the stats on the left. Not a lot of goals and assists for 60 games, but honestly, if you see what he does, it's pretty impressive. Sessegnon, honestly, I didn't see that one coming, but that's pretty good for them because that's a young talent, everything winger. He can also play left back, kind of. Lo Celso, that one took forever to get over the edge, but that's done. I think it's a loan, but technically they have obligation to buy him if they get European competition, and I mean. Yeah, they're going to get it. They got second place in the UCL. Second place. And then Kieran Trippier, I didn't see that coming. That one was kind of weird to me. You don't see many English people in Spain. But I'm going to give y'all an A for this transfer window because you splashed out cash, 74 mil, and you've brought in stuff to bolster your squad and be title contenders. Honestly, I'll say title contenders. Number 2. So obviously if I'm showing you number 2, you know who number 1 is. But I'll wait for that. And I'll try to keep this short and sweet, but Liverpool, I don't know what the hell you're doing, but you just won the UCL. You just got second place by 1 point in the Premier League season, and you have made profit this transfer window, and that's ridiculous to me. Look at those 3 players that they brought in. Adrian, good thing they brought him in because Alisson got hurt today. I don't know how long he'll be out for. Sepp Vandenberg, that kid on the left. Yeah. What? Guys, you gotta get an F for this. You literally are trying to be the Premier League champions. You are trying to win UCL back-to-back. You were trying to win FA Cup and everything. And you don't spend to bolster your squad? Granted, Liverpool have a great, near-perfect squad on paper. But the bench is dwindling a little. I mean, your front 3 gets hurt. Bobby, Salah, Mane. Who all are you bringing in? Divock Origi? I mean, he had a great season last season, but is he going to keep that up? Who knows? And it's just like, even if you're not going to bring in world-class names, at least bring in some good bench players. I mean, that's the difference between you and Man City. Man City have a huge bench, and they keep spending, but I don't understand. Maybe there's something behind the scenes I don't know about. Maybe it's going to be a huge transfer window in the winter, but dude, how do you make profit on a window for the summer after you win the Champions League and you're about to get and you got second. I don't know. Tell me, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but come on. Obviously, Man City's getting the title again. I mean, who's to question what Pep is doing and everything? I mean, they spent 88 mil this window after winning the Premier League, and I think they got I think they got knocked out in the quarterfinals of the Champions League, if I remember correctly. They brought in Rodri, huge for Atletico, a good backup to Fernandinho now. He's probably going to take his place in about a year or so. Joao Cancelo, I don't know how Juventus let him go. I really don't. And Walker's there, which kind of bewilders me, but I guess Walker might play center back or left back some. Probably center back, because apparently he did decent there. Angelino had a big season at PSV. Him and Zinchenko, I believe, will be the left backs. And then some other guys, but the people they lost, Fabian Delph, Danilo, and Vincent Kompany, the biggest names there, and I was just like, they weren't going to be that big anyways, so it's like, they didn't lose a lot, but you know what they did? They spent a lot of money, 88 mil, I'll call a lot of money, and they brought in decent players for their bench, for injuries, for everything, for people to back up when they leave. And Liverpool didn't, and that's what separates Man City from Liverpool, and that's why Man City will win the league again. And you know what? I don't blame them. They're probably one of the best teams obviously they're one of the best teams in the world, probably the best team in England right now. But you know what? I don't understand it. But you know what, guys? We're already running long on time. I want to say thank you for sticking with me from this video. I really hope that it made it through the whole audio this time. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Drop a like on the video if you enjoyed it. In the comments down below, please tell me your predictions. Champions, who's getting runner-up, if Chelsea will be successful under Frank, who will be the Golden Boot winner. And also tell me on some bold predictions you have, or just anything you don't agree with me on. I don't know everything, guys. Honestly, I will admit that I don't know everything. I could be totally wrong on a bunch of things I said and everything. Feel free to fact check me, but I just like to give my opinion out there. I like making these videos. So thanks, guys, for everything. If you stayed through the whole video, I really appreciate you. Gig 'em and God bless. Y'all have a great day.